Okay, and we're back. Unpause. You wake up in your cell after a short nap. There is a key to your side, a drill against the wall, and a small piece-soaked hole in the floor. Drill through the floor. Whirl. Fall. Drill. Thump. Whirl. For the first time in your 3-year imprisonment, it occurs to you to drill a large hole in the floor. You put your back into it. Poke head through hole and wave. You are delighted to see your neighbor. You decide you are long overdue for a proper greeting. Your oversized cranium gets lodged in the hole. You are stuck fast. Wave legs in the air. Crack. Slump. Your most creative solution to the problem is to hoist your torso in the air and flail your legs. It seems to be working when something goes wrong. Proceed. You suddenly realize you are now this guy. Daub pictures of naked ladies on the wall with blood. All you have is gay porno. Hunk rump. Black inches. Drill hole through door. The drill is not strong enough to penetrate steel. Drill through wall right next to the door. All these thoughts of drilling and penetration have given you a serious hankering for some quality time with Hunk Rump magazine. Sounds like something bro would make. Continue to enjoy Hunk Rump. You are putting the finishing touches on a robot you have built from ladder pieces. You are soaked in regurgitated urine, and this activity has been a nice diversion. You call him Log Org. He is magnificent. Command Log Org to dance. With commanding authority, you issue that order. Log Org has no brain, motor, or any moving parts. Use Log Org as a battering ram to open the door. From atop your great mechanized mount, you command Log Org to break down the door like a huge battering ram. Put your brain inside Log Org's brain. Ahead. You're not sure how you're going to get your brain into Log Org's head, or out of your own head for that matter, but you got an idea. Wreak havoc? Log Org has no moving parts. You could barely move inside your new wooden prison. Make a little love? Or smash. Decide all these thoughts of destruction should be offset by a little earnest love-making while you contemplate your current options for sexual partners. A whirring is heard from overhead. Sacrifice your soul to the heathen gods. You've considered doing a lot of stupid things before, but this idea takes the cake. Rebuild Log Org. From the Log Org ashes rises the phoenix of Drill Gorg, supreme next generation mech boss at your service. Get down tonight. Bum, 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 bum. Sorry. You're really excited about the advent of Drill Gorg. You have no choice but to totally get down. Festivities and gyrations may or may not continue into the evening. Get a bachelor's degree in robotics. You don't even know where to begin addressing how stupid that idea is. Examine that rope-like object. Go away. With great prescience, move away from end of the intestines. With a great prescience, you move away from the end of the intestines. Make a robot out of that guy. I don't think I'm familiar with make a robot out of that guy. Cry. Crushed by the loss of your prized automaton, your son of lumber, you are reduced to tears. The other guy consoles you. He thinks he has something that might cheer you up. Pause. Unpause. You and your newfound buddy stand face to face, wondering what to do. The shattered remains of Drilgorg rest in a tragic heap. Climb intestine. You decide to climb the intestine from which your new mate descended. He thinks, what the heck, might as well follow. You both begin a perilous, smelly climb. The added weight causes a sudden jerk from the other end. You make it through, but your partner is not so lucky. With a great sense of accomplishment, you survey the room. Wow, what happened in here? Clean up the place a bit. Using your trusty rag, you make some pretty good headway on the room. You notice a patch of dirt where it looks like something was buried. Eat whatever is in the hole. You firmly resolve to eat whatever you unearth from the hole, no matter how unsavory. When suddenly the dirt collapses, a void in the floor is left behind. You have to make other dinner plans. Dig deeper. Search for Prime Minister's gold hookers. You start to dig, hoping there will be valuables belonging to important people, but your oversized head becomes stuck. There is something oddly familiar about the situation. Ease head out of hole. You begin to gently squirm and wriggle when you start hearing an eerie buzz around your head. Carve holes for mouth and eyes. Much better. Now you can see through the thick flesh of the vegetable that's using your gourd. Go to window to show off new helmet. Through some act of divine collusion, you are drawn to the portal to look down. Greet him. Ask man to throw intestine up to you. You think maybe your coarse gesture was made a bit brashly. Diplomacy may be the most mutual beneficial strategy here. You kindly voice your request. The other man, though apparently irate, seems to be swayed by your tone. After all, you did ask very nicely. Success. Use intestine like scarf. Climb intestine. Pumpkin a purifier. You sling the intestine around your neck like a shawl. How glamorous. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeVille. Eat the pumpkin portions just cut out of the head of pumpkin. Damn, the pumpkin portion is a little too big for the mouth hole. You think to yourself, if I didn't have my trusty knife with me, I think I'd slit my wrist. Play the get out of jail free card. Hunksy. Of course, you forgot about your get out of jail free card. This is not a get out of jail free card. You are suddenly this guy. You are taking a strong interest in this store and what's inside. You think to yourself, I will probably go through this store no matter what other stupid idea pops into my head. For the love of God, go through the door. You step through the door, which instantly slams behind you and makes a locking noise. You have a feeling it is locked. In the room is a wall which has 3 pumpkin-shaped recesses. One has a happy face, another is sad, the other is scared or surprised or something. There is a fresh pumpkin on a pedestal and a carving knife next to it. The room seems to extend very high up. It might even go all the way to the roof up there. Carve the pumpkin into a surprised face. With your most determined face, you set about turning the pumpkin into a work of art. You really suck at carving pumpkins. Put it in the sad recess. Squish. Grind. Flood. You were not deterred by any theoretical discrepancies between your handiwork and the pumpkin speck, nor do you feel you have to put the pumpkin in the correct recess. Fits like a glove. Removing the pumpkin from the pedestal may have triggered some event, however. Drink as much as you can as fast as you can. You can't believe how stupid that idea is, but it's worth a shot, I guess. Plug the hole with a pumpkin. Press, crack, gush. You figure it is about time you took off the silly and uncomfortable pumpkin armor and put it to good use. There must be something that can stop the terrible flow of this water, possibly some mechanism, maybe right in this room. Carve pumpkins to match faces on the wall and put them in. Click, click. Clang! Maybe it's the surging, cruel water rising inexorably, but you're suddenly much more inspired to put concentrated effort into refining your craft. You hone your willpower into that of the master sculptor. Each slice, each contour of the knife bends to your will. Yes, yes. The results are breathtaking. The expressions are human emotion incarnate. Why are these pumpkins or fellow men rampant with the human condition? No time for reflection, though. As you wait for something to happen, you think at the very least maybe you could float to the opening in the ceiling. However, though, you're not a great swimmer. As the water engulfs your head, you hear another distant mechanical sound. Oh, shit. Luckily for the cause of suspense, you are now the other guy in his cell, wondering exactly what to do. There is a noise. The secret door opens to the adjacent cell. These two have been long dead. You wonder what kind of moronic adventures they were up to. You guess you'll probably never know. Bring the gun along in case you have to off yourself. You pick up the firearm. You now feel powerful and confident. Unfortunately, there is nowhere on your person to pack the heat. A violin string seems to suit the purpose well. Jump out the window. The window to this cell is barred. Try to climb up the rope thing. You get the fishy feeling that this is probably more intestine. You've been climbing a lot of intestines lately. It looks like it goes all the way to the roof. It must be a very long, large intestinal tract. You were wrong. It is actually a small intestinal tract belonging to a slaughtered sperm whale. Survey surroundings, possibly sneaking a bite of ambergris. Gurgle, squish. There's quite a panoramic view up here. Surrounding you mostly is other prison buildings. Who knows how many poor souls are trapped in this idiotic facility. Directly in front of you is another building. You hear water gurgling from it. And just beyond are some mountains, which might be a nice place to escape to if possible. You're not really sure what ambergris is, but you have a feeling it will be essential. You grab a liberal dollop and stick it in your pumpkin. Use harpoon to get across to building and shoot down hole. You pry the harpoon out of the whale first into the barrel. You pry the harpoon out of the whale, load it into the barrel, and fire. The pulley mechanism yanks you swiftly to the other roof. Readying your pistol to fire indiscriminately into the void below, you hear some murmurs, along with a gurgling. The water seems to be rising slowly. Looking into his mournful eyes, pleading eyes, you start to reconsidering firing your handgun. You opt for the harpoon gun instead. You figure you might need the bullets later if you have to off yourself. Pull lever and reel in the harpoon. Zip. Okay, you think you've got this figured out now. Amidst a lot of swearing and groaning from below, you nonchalantly walk over and pull the crank. Assuming this will trigger something right away, presumably with respect to the bars, you reel in the harpoon. The bars stay put, but a ladder emerges from some kind of control panel next to it a good ways down. Apologize to the man. You tie the harpoon tether around the crank so it doesn't go anywhere. You then get down on your knees in preparation for one of your most sincere sounding apologies. When something distracts you, a 5,000-piece jigsaw puzzle on the floor, partially completed. It looks like it's a picture of kittens. This looks like so much fun. Ask Harpoon Man where rest of the few thousand pieces are. He can't hear your question and doesn't really care to listen at the moment. Climb down ladder and randomly press buttons on panels. Clang, zip, doomp. You get your button pressing finger ready for a field day. You are disappointed to find it is a simple switch. You pull it nonetheless. Take off helmet and use it for flotation. Flip switch again. You struggle to remove the pumpkin, but it is swollen from absorbing too much water. To express your current emotion, you try to twist it to the frowning side, but it gets stuck halfway. So blind, you still manage to scramble over and pull the lever again. You are now the Harpoon Man. Point hugifier at pumpkin head and activate. Bzzz. Roll, rumble, crash, level, halt. You can imagine what the strange device does, but it beckons you. There are two settings on the dial. You leave it at pretty huge. You don't want to get carried away. You are that guy. Look around and think guy for quick thinking with harpoon. You look around, you appear to be surrounded by mountains and a shitty looking forest. Also, there's a conspicuous stump there. There's got to be some way to get down from this pumpkin. Load gun and fire at stump while singing King Henry V. I am King Henry V. I am King Thunk Slide. Zip. Boink. It might be the bloodlust, but you've definitely gone bonkers. You load the gun and fire it backwards through your torso while reciting the play King Henry V. You clearly don't know a single line from this play. You act fast with your trusty knife to free yourself before the impending collision. You are now this guy. grab the other guy's hand and run off into the forest. Chick-clunk. Bang. Game over. Game over. Yes, finally. Free at last. Though the victory is bittersweet, your friend has died of blood loss. This is no victory. The feeling is vast emptiness. You are no longer bound by bars or concrete, but you feel more incarcerated than ever. You come to the heart-wrenching conclusion that the only true prison is loneliness. There is only one thing left to do. Continue. You wake up locked in a deserted jail cell, completely alone. There is nothing at all in your cell, useful or otherwise. You turn around. Use key, carve spell into pumpkin, invoking elves and such. What is the merciful Christ's name you are talking about? Use key, carve spell into stomach, invoking elves and such. There is already such a spell carved into your stomach. Recite spell while spilling blood, invoking elves and such. You don't know what any of those runes mean. And you'll be damned if you're going to try and read them upside down. An elf appears anyways. With your trusty Junks magazine, forge a sword. Your gay pornography has been forged into a formidable blade. The elf saw a picture of a penis and started to cry. Strike the elf. Your stats: health, magics, pulitrude. Elf stats: health, magics, pulitrude. You could really use a boost of pulitrude if you wish to win this battle. Offer the elf a baby in exchange for one wish. The elf agrees to grant one wish on the promise that you will acquire a baby for him in the near future. Choose your wish. Get out of jail, a new pony, improve your pulitrude. Ask for a pony, ask for second wish by promising twin babies. Choose your second wish. Get out of jail, improve your pulitrude. Wish to get out of jail, then trample the elf with the pony. He's more than happy to magically transport you outside the prison, and you had him at I will get you more babies. You deal more damage in the Fraxis, but again, clumsy meleeing skills have left you with the short end of the stick. Your health status: magic's pulitrude. Pony status: magic's pulitrude. Health, magic's pulitrude. Elf stats: health, magic's pulitrude. Cut open the horse to sleep inside for the cold night. You seem to forget your sword's made out of paper and really is incapable of cutting anything open. However, with the pony's already weak in health, the blow is just enough to take him to critical condition. His pulitrude takes a hit too. Pony stats: health, magic's pulitrude. But the cold night air is imminent and you have to do something. You decide to get into his mouth for warmth. Snug as a bug. You have a feeling you'll get a pretty good night's sleep. While you're doing all of that, the elf entered his magic 2-bedroom bungalow for the night and locked the door. Man, it sure looks warm in. Cast fireball at bungalow so you can stay extra warm tonight. You crawl out of the mouth covered in vivacious horse slobber. You don't know any fireball spells, but you think maybe there's something useful in the runes on your belly. No fireballs, but another elf appears. Dig up stump. You flip open the stump easily, revealing a hole. There's a gun in the hole. You figure the gun was placed there in case you need to off yourself at some point. There seems to be some powerful cosmic magnetism towards suicide which surrounds the stump. It has no bullets. Go on a hunt for children to repay the elf for his kindness. Scurry! There appears to be a bus full of children on a field trip coming down the road. You wait to spring an ambush. Unfortunately, not one of these children appears to be a baby. Gift bus the children to elves so you could go inside. While you were measuring, the bus driver drove off with the rest of the kids, leaving you with only these three. You see if you can interest the elves nonetheless. They are apparently unmoved by the offer. Tie kids together with the horse and use as a battering ram. An idea this good just doesn't come around every day. You bind your motley collection of hostages together with your ample supply of rope. But the combined weight of 3 kids in a small equine is way too much to even drag to the door. You begin to suspect this was a retarded idea. Throw 2 kids in the chimney. Maybe it will smoke out elves. You order the children to climb the house and go down the chimney. The horse tries to gesture that the gun has no bullets. Continue your downward spiral of mental instability. Inside the bungalow, it is warm and inviting. Invite the horse, children, and madman in for tea party. Frankly, you think the guy's a little unhinged. You don't want anything to do with him, unless he has babies, of course. Enact total war. Set house on fire and flee east to Moscow. Moscow is west, you boob. Use magical prowess to summon Miskafet elves. You don't know the spell for summoning elves, Russian or otherwise, and the only known spell is carved on the belly of that lunatic, and you're not getting close enough to read it. The only spells carved on your bellies have nothing to do with elves. From what you can decipher of the runes, you think one has something to do with summoning vegetables. The other one may give you an elevated mystical communion with animals or something. What a lame-ass spell. Use runes to commune with pony and feed it a magic carrot. A magical sense of communion tugs at the pony's primitive mind. A ludicrous magicked up carrot tantalizes the pony. All the pony's stats are completely restored. Bite off your own leg and use it to play fetch with the pony. That does not sound like an enjoyable activity for either party. First, be the pony. Second, trample the children and the madman. I'm sorry, but I'm not familiar with the command, be the pony. With elf powers, order the pony to trample children and man. You really put your back into this enchantment. You will coerce this pony towards murder, hell or high water. The pony wanders off and snuggles into bed. He looks really warm and cozy. You are now the pony. Enjoy restful slumber. You win. Would you like to play again? Yay, I finished it.